everyone, it's me Sensei Hamza, back with another Scratch game tutorial. Today, we'll be starting to create the Pac Man game. This game's a little bit different from the past games that we've done, like the water bottle flip game and the Flappy Bird game, because this game's going to be more of a long-term project. It will take a couple of videos for you guys to complete this game, and hopefully we'll have it done by the end of next week. Today, we'll be starting to create the Pac Man sprite and the maze sprite, and then we'll input basic code for those. And then over the next couple of days, I'll be releasing the other videos so that you guys could ultimately have a finished game at the end. So that's the plan for today, the Pac Man sprite and the maze sprite and then basic code, so let's get right into it. Alright everybody, so as I said before, today we're going to be starting the Pac Man game. As usual, we're going to use Scratch to do so, so if you haven't done so, go to scratch.mit.edu, log in, and hit the create button in the top left. So after that, you'll get to the screen exactly where I'm at. So the first thing we need to do is name our project. So we're going to go up to the name project area and we're going to hit Pac Man Game. That's going to be the name of this project. After you do that, we're going to start to create the sprites. So for Pac Man, you don't need this cat, so you could just get rid of it by hitting the trash can. And then you could go to the choose a sprite button. After you do that, hit the paint, because all the sprites that we use for this game will be created by ourselves. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create Pac Man himself. So to do that, you could hit the circle button and then you could go to fill. You could make Pac Man whatever color you want. I'll choose yellow because that's usually what he is in the actual game, right? So I'll choose yellow. I want him to be that shade of yellow, so that's what we'll do. And then after you choose the color, you just want to hit the circle button. And as you draw the circle, I want you to hit the shift key, because the shift key will make sure it's a perfect circle and not an oval or some other kind of circle. So Pac Man could be about that big. And as far as the outline goes, you can see that he's not entirely yellow. His outline is black. So what we could do is hit this, and we could hit the outline. Or you guys could leave it black if you want, but I'd rather it to be yellow. So what we'll do is we'll make his outline yellow as well. So now all of Pac Man is yellow. We're gonna have two different costumes for Pac Man, but before we do that, I want to introduce something to you guys. So with the Pac Man sprite, we're gonna have what we're gonna call a detector block. This block is gonna be able to detect whether or not Pac Man reaches a ghost, whether or not he reaches a wall, and any other obstacles in the game. So the detector block will just be a really simple. The detector block needs to be different from the color of Pac Man, so we can make it whatever color you want. I'll make it blue. But the detector block is going to be a rectangle. So after you choose your color, and then you don't need an outline. After you choose your color, you just hit this square button, this rectangle button right here. And right in front of Pac Man, you want to put a rectangle that's about that big. So that'll work. And you guys might be a little concerned because in the game, you could see the detector block, and in the actual game you don't want to see the detector block, but I'll show you how we'll fix that later on. But for now, we have Pac Man and then we have a detector block. So Pac Man needs a mouth because part of the game is that he eats up blocks and he eats up electricity so that he can go faster. So what we'll do is we'll hit a duplicate. We'll create a different costume. So we'll call this costume closed mouth, and then we'll call this one open mouth. So the way we're gonna give Pac Man a mouth is we're gonna use this line button. So after you do that, use the line button and then change this number, which is the thickness of the line, to about 5. We can make that 5. So we're going to go to around the center of Pac Man and we're going to draw a line that reaches the edge, and then we're going to draw another line to make it look like a mouth. So after that, we want to get rid of the yellow so that it realistically looks like a mouth. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the eraser button, and then we could make this about 5. So now we have an eraser of about 5, and all we have to do is just erase the yellow. So let's get rid of all the yellow so that Pac Man has a mouth. You don't have to hit it exactly. I'll show you how we'll fix the lost black line afterwards, but you just want to get rid of all the yellow within that area. Alright, so we do that, and after that, okay, so my computer just glitched, so I'll go back and finish the rest of it. You just want to erase all the yellow from his mouth so that it looks like he has an actual mouth. Alright, almost there. And there we go. Wait, let me just get rid of that. Alright, so the way we're gonna fix all these little patched up holes is we're gonna move the line outside so that it's close. And we're going to add more lines that we connect the parts that we already closed off. So let's add a line there, and then let's add another line right here. So now it looks like he has a mouth, which is what we wanted. But I don't know if you guys would like him to have a black mouth or if you just want it to be yellow as well. So if you do want it to be yellow, you could change it, but if you don't want it to be yellow and you want to keep it just black, that's fine. But I'll show you guys how to make it yellow anyway. So what you want to do is you want to go to this button and you want to select all, we'll select the line one by one. So after you do that, you go to outline and then you want to choose, you could just hit this, then you get that. So now look, part of his mouth's yellow, which is exactly what we want. And then we'll do that with all the different lines that are there right now. So let's do that for this. We'll go to the outline, hit this, grab the color from there, and then look, that works as well. So we can do that for the remainder of this line, and we'll be able to have a yellow mouth. So let's select the remainder of the line, and then hit outline, hit this, and then that's yellow. And then let's just do it one more time so that this is yellow. Outline this, and then there we go. Alright, so there we go. Pac-Man now has a mouth, and the detector block is right there, which is exactly what we want. Alright, so let's go into the code for Pac-Man now, and let's insert some basic code that will get the Pac-Man moving, and his costume changes from open mouth to closed mouth. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to go and get a forever loop. We're going to insert the forever loop, and then we want to get the next costume, so it's always going to change the costume, but in between each costume change you want to wait about 0.3 seconds, a really small amount of time. So now that we have that code, we can press the green, and as you can see, Pac-Man's mouth is opening and closing with 0.3 second intervals, which is exactly what we want, so that works. Alright, so in Pac-Man, as you guys know, Pac-Man moves constantly, but the only way to really move him around is if you change the direction of where he's moving. You can't really make Pac-Man stop. That's not the goal. The goal is to have him always moving. So to do that, we're going to go to events, and we're going to get 4 of when space key is pressed. Because we're going to change the direction 4 times when we're controlling him. Up, down, left, and right. So when up arrow is clicked, when down arrow is clicked, when right arrow is clicked, and when left arrow is clicked. When those buttons are clicked, we want to point in a certain direction. So let's grab 4 of those, point in direction, and attach them to the when right arrow, when left arrow, when up arrow, and when down arrow. So when the up arrow is clicked, we want him to point in the 0 degree direction so that he's pointing straight up. When the down arrow key is clicked, we want him to point 180 degrees because that'll mean he's pointing down. And then when the right arrow is clicked, we want him to point 90 degrees so that he goes right, so that's right. But when the left arrow is clicked, we want him to go left, which would be negative 90 degrees. So there you go. Let's just test that code out. So right now we have the code for the next costume, which works great. And then when I hit the up arrow, he goes up. When I hit the left arrow, he goes left. When I hit the down arrow, he goes down. And when I hit the right arrow, he goes right, which is exactly what we want. So right now, everything works great. Alright, so the next thing we could do is we could go to when green flag is clicked and insert a forever loop to move Pac-Man. Pac-Man constantly moves, so we could just have him move forever. And let's get the move 10 steps button. So let's hit that. Oh, he moves really fast. So let's make it move 3 steps. Let's make him move 3 steps so that it could be a little slower. Yeah, that looks about right. So that's how fast Pac-Man will move in the actual game. He'll constantly be moving and will constantly be changing his direction. Alright, so everything for, let's change the name to Pac-Man. Everything for Pac Man code as of right now is good to go. So the next thing we need to do is create the maze. So to do that, we're going to create our own sprite, and we're going to hit paint. The way we're going to create our own maze is by inserting a bunch of rectangles and then erasing parts of the rectangles to create holes for Pac-Man to travel through. So we'll use, I'll use red to do it. You guys probably should use red as well, just to make sure it's consistent. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this rectangle, this rectangle button, the outline is that, and make sure there's no fill, because we don't want the rectangles to be filled. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first create one rectangle, and then inside of that rectangle, we're going to create another rectangle. Let's try and get there in the center. And after that, we want another rectangle, and then one more. All right. So this is the basic sprite for the maze. Obviously, we're not done yet because there's no way for the Pac-Man to travel. It's all closed. Same before, to create obstacles, we're going to be using the line. All you have to do is hit the shift key, and then you get a straight line. So that could be one obstacle. This could be another. This could be another. And then you guys could add however many you want, but as long as Pac-Man's able to really travel around, that's really what you want. And then we can add one more here. All right. I'll add another one right here. All right. So the way that Pac-Man's going to be able to travel around is we're going to erase part of these rectangles to create holes for him to travel around. So to do that, we're going to be using the erase button. You could make the erase 15, and then you guys could really just create holes wherever you want, wherever you feel that Pac-Man should be able to travel. Let's make this a little bit bigger so that let's make it 25. All right. So yeah, you guys could create holes wherever you want, really, for Pac-Man to travel. I'll be putting them, I'm not really thinking too much about it. You guys might want to think more about it so that you guys could develop it, make the player develop a strategy. But I'm just putting holes in places that will allow Pac-Man to freely travel for now. So, alright. So you could add holes wherever you want, really, as long as Pac-Man's able to travel from one area to all different parts of the game. Alright, so this will be my maze. You guys, again, could do it however you want. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. But for right now, this is mine. What you guys might be wondering, though, however, is why Pac-Man, how is Pac-Man going to be able to travel? He's so big. He doesn't fit between these. So there's two ways that you guys could fix this. You could either make the rectangles bigger so that they could fit Pac-Man. Or you could make Pac-Man smaller, which I think is a lot easier, so we'll do that. We can make him maybe not that small. He doesn't need to be that small. We can make him about that big. Let's see. Does he fit? Yeah, he fits. He doesn't fit there. So we can make him, or actually we could just edit the rectangle for that one. So here we can make this a little bit bigger and then make this a little bit bigger. Alright. So there we go. That is our maze, and that's our Pac-Man. We could test it out by hitting the green flag, and then we could have Pac-Man travel around. Obviously, we haven't inputted the code for when he hits the walls, because in the actual game, he won't be able to hit the walls. He won't be able to just travel right through the walls. We'll do that in another video. But for today, this is the setup for the Pac Man game. This is how you create the Pac-Man sprite, how you create the maze. I'll be releasing a couple of videos over the next couple of days, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time, and stay safe.